Cierra here, and I'm coming to you to talk about going from slump to success. Three core principles that are going to get you unstuck and allow you to scale your business because you deserve it. If you've been working hard, if you've been grinding for a really long time, I think you're about ready for that reward. And as long as you are doing these three core things, you will get the reward. And so what's going to help you move from that stuck level to get to that next place? We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But first, as always, we're going to start with a song. Remember, if you're tuning in live, put live down in the comments below. And then if you watch this on the replay, let me know like where you're tuning in from, and make sure I always ask a question. I want to learn more about you. I want to be able to help you in whatever way that I can. So ask questions, answer questions, comment down below, and tune in with me. So the song I'm going to sing today is Rise Up. And I've had my own things that I'm working on to get to the next level in my business. I've actually leveled through almost every month. I've been rising in a level in my business. It's been kind of crazy. It's been a wild ride. But so anyways, this is the perfect song for this. So you're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round. And you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you. So we're gonna walk it out and move mountains. We're gonna walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day, I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, high like the waves, I'll rise up. In spite of the ache, I'll rise up. And I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you. For you. So today we are actually talking about rising up from the plateau. Like everyone has hit this at some point or another in your business. It seems like you're just kind of going on that merry-go-round. It seems like you're just kind of doing the same things over and over again. Like from one month to the next, you're kind of at the same level. You're able to repeat patterns. You see the same things happening. The point is that at some point we all get stuck. And so what actually causes us to rise up to that next level? We're actually going to talk about that today. If you're tuning in live, put live down below. I don't see comments on here. Maybe I need to click on that. I don't know. But you guys, just put down below that you're tuning in live. Let me know where you're tuning in from. The question that I'm going to ask for you guys today is, what is one part of your business that you wish you could delegate? If you didn't have to do it another day in your life, like you would totally, that would be the thing. Like, this is what I'm going to delegate. This is what I'd love to put off on somebody else. Let me know in the comments below and we'll shout out and do some shout outs here. So that being said, we're going to dive right into this. The very first thing, I'm actually going to tell a couple stories that are a little bit personal to me to go along and to really illustrate these principles and hopefully help it drive home for you. But if you could see my desk right now, I have like 3 different books laid out and opened up. Hey, good to see you on here. If you could do one thing in your business, what would you delegate? So that being said, the first principle that I want to talk about that's going to help you get from that place of being stuck to rise up to that next level in your business, to be able to scale your business to the next income level, to be able to scale your business to, if you're having to hire teams right now, it's going to be from John Maxwell's book about the 15 invaluable laws of growth, and it's the law of trade-offs. And I kind of want to just run through these principles here real quick because it really illustrates like where you could be trading off that maybe you haven't even realized. And I'm going to hit these first. So it says, I'm willing to give up financial security today for potential tomorrow. And I'm going to share a story about something really big that I gave up so that I could be where I am today. And it's amazing. It's amazing where I'm at today compared to where I was when I actually let this go. And it was a really big thing to let go. So the second one is I'm willing to give up immediate gratification for personal growth. The third one, I'm willing to give up the fast life for the good life. The fourth one, I'm willing to give up security for significance. The fifth one, I'm willing to give up addition for multiplication, which is a really big deal because, I mean, 2 + 2 makes 4. But when you start multiplying exponentially, now all of a sudden, like something to the third, the fourth, the fifth power, you're able to actually let go and grow. And the only way you can do that is when you are following the law of the trade-offs. And so one of the things that I really liked, a quote that he has here, it says, when it comes to growth and success, immediate gratification is almost always the enemy of growth. We can choose to please ourselves and plateau, or we can delay our gratification and grow. It's our choice. And so I see a couple of people have commented. I just want to say hi real quick. So hello, Nia. Hello, Elizabeth McCowan. It's great to see you guys on here. If you guys are tuning in live, drop down below in the comments. I asked a question. If you could delegate one part of your business, if you could delegate something you wish you could delegate, something you never ever want to have to do again, what is the one thing in your business that you would delegate? So out of the 15 invaluable laws of growth, I mentioned the law of trade-offs. This is the first principle, the first core principle that you have to be willing to do to get out of that plateau, out of that stuck place in your business and be able to jump into that next level. And a couple years ago, I was working with one of the first Facebook groups that I actually helped monetize and grow exponentially. And I put in a lot of strategies. I put in a lot of time and effort for free. I used to do all my work for free. It's kind of crazy, I know, but we were getting to the point where I was partnering up and I was going to be in that partnership and I was going to be tied down to this one Facebook group and we were going to implement those strategies and I was going to get monetary gain from that group. And it was a really hard decision, but it was taking a lot out of me. And for some reason, I felt like, this wasn't the right path for me at the time. And I stepped back from it and I can't even tell you how many tears I shed because I really felt like I was stepping away from something really, really good. Like it was going to bring solid monetary gain. It was going to give me an opportunity to rise up as a leader in a local group. It was going to give me the opportunity to pursue some of the things I really wanted to pursue. And I actually reached out to the person that I was partnered with at the time. And I told her, that I had to take a step back, that I had a lot of other things I was stepping into. And I had a lot of other things pulling on my personal time. And I chose to step back from that. And it was extremely hard. But I knew that there was something like a vision, like birthing inside of me that was going to be great. And I knew that if I followed this path, I would be on a good path. But I had to trade something good for something great. And I can tell you that last year, I was dreaming about being the person I am today, which is crazy because I never thought that I could get there back then. But I really wanted it. And I knew that I had to pursue it. And so I traded something really, really good for something that is great and still has the potential to get even greater. And so it's one of those things where, these are a couple different points with the law of trade-offs is that, are you doing things that could be delegated to somebody else? Are you doing lower level tasks that could be delegated to somebody else? Are you in your business? Are you getting wrapped up in things and starting to pursue things that don't serve the future of your business? One of the things that I see a lot of is I see a lot of people starting to work on, they're going to start Instagram and they're going to start LinkedIn. They're going to start a social media profile on Twitter, or they're going to go over to YouTube and they're going to start stuff there. And then they've been on Facebook. And the thing is that they're split between so many platforms, and none of them are actually getting served really well. And so if you're already on Facebook and you've already gotten clients from Facebook, why would you go to the other platforms instead of funneling your attention into the one thing that's really working for you? And I've got to say, I mentioned this on the training that I did yesterday in another group, is that the Facebook platform, there are 2.6 billion users on the Facebook platform. So if you think that your avatar is not on Facebook or your target market is not on Facebook, I can tell you right now that's not accurate. So in the law of trade-offs, trading something good for something great, it's all about like focusing your attention on the great thing, on the future vision that you have for yourself, and making sure that everything in your activities, in your life, and on your schedule serves your purpose. So what could be delegated? Another thing is, a lot of people that I've talked to recently, they either have too many offers or they have the wrong offer and they're pursuing the wrong thing for them. A lot of people are out there trying to create something new instead of focusing on the things that they're already really good at. And there's no reason to try and create a bunch of new stuff. If you are really good at something, stick with it, focus on it. You're going to be a few steps ahead of somebody else. There's no reason why you need to be jumping around all over the place to try and pick multiple different offers. There's no reason. I see a lot of times with ClickFunnels, there are a lot of people out there who want to have like, my $7, my $17, and my $47, and my $97, and then my $2,000 offer. And then maybe I'll have this offer over here. And so I'll have this funnel that has these offers, and then I'll have this one that has these offers. And yeah, Russell Brunson got really good at that. But there's a bunch of other things that he hasn't taught people yet that he does, that he makes a lot more money off of that than he does off of the little offers. And one of the very first offers that he ever did was a high ticket one, where he was a knowledge broker and sold other people's knowledge and skills in an event capacity. So it wasn't even a bunch of small ticket things. And there's a lot of people who have been very successful in that, but just because somebody else has done it doesn't mean that you now have to pursue it. I have a kid at the door. So, if you guys are tuning in live, drop live down below. And if you just tuned in, what is the one part of your business that you wish you could delegate? So the last little piece of the law of trade-offs is, are you holding on to old identity habits? So a lot of times what I've run across in the people that I've talked to and the new clients that I've started is that people have this old identity of who they were before, and they're holding on to the habits of that old identity. And when you are ready to level up and step into the next level of your business, you cannot operate in the same capacity. And for me personally, one of the things that I had to do to shift in that was I was actually not waking up at a cyclical time every morning, which made my whole day kind of go to crap. Pardon me. But my whole day would just kind of like go up in flames because I wasn't able to get into a morning routine and just bang out the stuff that needed to be banged out. So, one of the shifts that I had to make was, now I'm working with a personal trainer, and I'm doing that 3 times a week, and it's at a very early point in the morning so that I can actually stay on schedule and I can stick to it. And I put that own accountability on myself. Like that's not me having her hold me accountable. I'm just using her so I don't have to come up with the plan for the personal training. And it's saving me time. So that's something that I delegated. I hired a personal trainer. She makes the plan. Could I do it on my own and could I figure it out? Yeah, I've done it lots of times before. I just don't want to right now. And so I hired somebody else to do it for me, and she's doing it for me. She's doing a great job, and I'm able to focus on my business. So the second thing for helping you get from stuck to, just rocketing and soaring in your business, getting more sales, growing to that next level, hiring the team you need to hire, whatever the next level is for you in your business, the thing that's going to get you there to the next level, the second thing is that you do not want to forsake and despise the small things. So when you're a CEO, when you're the business owner, it means that you need to know what right looks like. And so a lot of times what I've seen in businesses, my husband has worked in corporate for a very long time in the military. My mom worked in the corporate world for, almost 30 years, like 29 years she worked in the corporate world. And one of the biggest downfalls that we see in the corporate world and that we see in a lot of businesses is that the leader of the business thinks that they don't have to learn some of the small things. The truth about it is that when the leader actually takes that ownership to know the functionality of what the small moving parts are doing, not becoming an expert at it, just learning what right looks like, now that person has the ability to hire better. They have the ability to, do and run checks and make sure the company is running smoothly. One of the people that I like to bring up sometimes is Donald Trump as a businessman, not necessarily as a president, but as a businessman. As a businessman, one of the qualities that he had in business before he ever became president, he had it for years, and why he has so many successful businesses, is that he knows how to hire well. He knows how to find people who are really good at their job and hire well. But to be able to do that, he has to know what right looks like. And so says being willing to lay the right foundation so that your team can run with it. One of the scriptures I like to bring up a lot is write the vision, make it plain so that anyone who reads it can run with it. But if you don't have the vision as the leader and you don't know what right looks like and you don't line that out clearly for your team, how are they going to be able to accomplish it for you? So the 5 levels of leadership, which is also another John Maxwell book. But if you're not familiar with the 5 levels of leadership, I'm going to run through that real quick. And then I'm going to read one of the quotes from in here that's really, really good. So the first level of leadership is position. And that's going to be like the manager, like this is the lowest level of leadership. Somebody was hired into a position. Now they're the leader of all these people, and people basically have to do what they say or they might lose their job. That's positional leadership. So people follow you because they have to. Level number 2 is permission or relationships. So people follow you because they want to. Now people know you, they like you, they trust you. That's only level 2 leadership. And that's what most people are building when they're in the online world, when they're in Facebook, when they're on social media with their business. They're just building level 2 leadership. And level 2 leadership will get you a few sales, but it's not enough. So level 3 leadership is production or results. It's when you are producing in your own life and people see that, so they pick up on it. People follow you because of what you've done for the organization or what you've done for your own business. They'll start following you because of that. Level 4 is people development, so reproduction. So once you're actually producing in your own life and then you start helping others produce in theirs, people follow you because of what you've done for them. And that's a really big deal. That's a really, really big deal. So now that you're not only producing in your own life, you're producing in other people's lives. That's the 4th level of leadership. The 5th level of leadership is the pinnacle, and it's the highest one talked about in the 5 levels of leadership. And that's where people have respect for you, ultimate respect. And so people follow you because of who you are and what you represent, which is a really, really, really big deal, because not only do you have position, not only do you have permission, not only do you have production in your own life, not only are you helping to develop other people, but now you actually have earned respect. And so the quote in here in the 5 levels of leadership that I wanted to point out is that success demands more than most people are willing to offer, but not more than they're capable of giving. And so are you despising some of the small things? Are you not wanting to get wrapped up in some of the day-to-day task or something that seems like mundane? Are you walking away from some of those things that, they need to be checked on? Are you overlooking some things that need to happen in your business? Because if you will get those tweaks figured out, if you will lay out the vision very, very clearly, your team is going to move forward with it and run with it, and they're going to do so well. So if you are tuning in live, comment down below, let me know that you're tuning in with me. And then we're about to jump into the 3rd core principle for what's going to help you get unstuck and jump to that next level in your business. And guys, one of the biggest reasons why I'm going over this is because I've picked up a lot of clients recently, and I've talked to a lot of people in our strategy sessions. I have the C5 strategy that I run, and as I'm talking to people, I realize that, people need that leadership in their business. To get from one level to the next. I've talked to a lot of people who, we're looking to only scale to like $10,000 months. And if you're at that point, you're not going to be able to operate at the same level that you used to operate if you want to get to that point. And then, the people that I'm helping most right now are the people who they're scaling to $50,000 and $100,000 and $200,000 months. And those people, like, they operate on a completely different level. And when you have a $10,000 a month business versus a $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 business, at every single level, there's some new shift that you're going to have to make. So if you actually want to be able to scale your business, you have to be adaptable. You have to be willing to change. And sometimes you have to be willing to do the things that you weren't doing before. And so will it be hard? Yes. Will it be worth it? Absolutely yes. So the very last core principle for getting unstuck and raising up into the next level is owning that everything is a reflection back to you. And this comes, the quote for this one actually comes out of the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. It's a really amazing book. My husband had to read it for his leadership degree, and it has shaped the way that I manage my life. And I'm going to read actually a paragraph from it real quick. It says, ownership of everything is what he answers to this guy. This isn't his fault, it's yours. You are in charge. So the fact that he didn't follow procedure is your fault. And you have to believe that because it's true. When you talk to him, you need to start the conversation like this. Our team made a mistake and it's my fault. It's my fault because I obviously wasn't as clear as I should have been in explaining why we have these procedures in place and how not following them can cost the company hundreds of thousands of dollars. You are an extremely skilled and knowledgeable superintendent. You know more about this business than I ever will. It was up to me to make sure that you know the parameters we have to work within and why some decisions have got to be run through me. Now I need to fix this so that it doesn't happen again. And of course the guy's response was like, do you think that'll work? And of course he says yes and explains why. But the last part is really good. He says, remember, it's not about you. I continued. It's not about drilling the superintendent. It's about the mission and how to best accomplish it. With that attitude exemplified in you and your key leaders, your team will dominate. So the last thing to remember is that everything that is happening in your business, whether you're stuck, whether you had an amazing month, whether you had a downturn in your sales, it's all a reflection of you and what you are doing and the actions you're taking. And you have to remember to focus on the actions that get you the results. Don't focus on the result that you want. A lot of people will set goals, they'll set their SMART goals, they'll put a plan in place and everything, but then they're focusing so much on the results that they miss doing the actions that will actually achieve those results. One of my favorite principles to point out with that is if you imagine when you want to work out, because a lot of people have health goals. So you imagine the end goal, which maybe for somebody it's losing 30 pounds, right? I actually have lost 23 pounds in the last quarter, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Still on my way to do better and more, gain muscle, lose more fat, all of that. But this is a pretty universal principle, right? So you want to lose 30 pounds and you're focusing on losing 30 pounds. So you go over to the scale, you check your weight all the time, you look at it, you see the scale is barely moved. Then what happens? You feel bad. You're like, well, does it even matter if I have these extra noodles because, all I ate was salad and the scale didn't even move. And then you eat some extra noodles or some bread, or you throw a cake in there or whatever. You get your soda at the gas station and while you're headed down into town, or, whatever the case may be. And instead of actually focusing on, did I do my workouts when I was supposed to? Did I follow the food guidelines that I was supposed to? Did I drink enough water? Did I get enough sleep? And focusing on the activities, because as long as you're producing the right activities to get to the end result, you will hit that result. May it happen in the time frame you wanted? Maybe not, but you will hit that result. And so with extreme ownership, it says one of the principles I used to talk about a lot with my kids is what you allow is what will continue. And the reason why I came up with that, and the reason why I say that a lot, is because I used to like walk by and I'd allow my kids to like set a piece of trash down somewhere, and then when they got up, I wouldn't make them pick it up immediately. And so sometimes we'd end up having trash around our house, and then we'd have like this extra time where we had to go clean. And then I realized that I was allowing it. And because I was allowing it, it was continuing. Not only was it continuing, it was like a snowball, and it was getting worse. And so I finally made that decision that, okay, every single time you sit down with something, if you have trash, you pick it up, you throw it away. I do that in my car too. If you bring anything into my car, you are responsible for taking it out. And my car stays clean now. It didn't used to. I used to live by a different set of standards in my life. But now that I've stepped into a new role in my life, it is affecting everything. It's affecting the cleanliness of my house. It's affecting my health. It's affecting my relationships with my family, with my kids, with my husband, with my friends who I hang out with and who I spend time with. Because as you are leveling up, as you are making those decisions in your life to go from one place to the next, there's going to have to be some shifts. And to get to that next level, and you're going to love it. You're going to love being there. It's a little scary. But when have you ever done anything in your life worth doing and not been a little scared at the beginning? So that's the 3 core principles. I think this is one other thing I put down here is like when you take extreme ownership, you can reflect and approach the situation with a clear head. And so that's one of the biggest things is, take a step back. To run back through those principles, number 1 is trade something good for something great, the law of trade-offs. Number 2 is when you're the CEO of your own company, it means that you need to know what right looks like. So don't despise some of the small lessons that you have to learn. Number 3 is own that everything is a reflection back to you, and take that extreme ownership so that you can actually reflect on things, learn from them, adapt and grow, because as you are scaling, you absolutely are not going to be able to run business as usual. You're not going to be able to run business the same way that you used to. You have to be willing to adapt. You have to be willing to grow. And the only way to do that is to reflect and make new decisions. So thank you guys for tuning in live with me. I really appreciate it. I love you guys, and I will talk to you again next week. If you guys have any questions about Facebook groups or anything related to marketing and sales on Facebook wise, drop them in Messenger, and I will hit that on my next live, and we will be right back to Facebook groups next week. Talk to you guys again soon.